Well, we always love visiting the Four-Mar Nature Preserve, and we're here again today. And joining me now with Heather. She's going to tell us all about mushrooms. Hi, Heather.
Hello there. How is everyone?
Yes, wonderful. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, I'm excited to kind of learn about this because I don't know much about mushrooms, and I'm sure you have all the details. So kind of walk us through what a typical class about mushrooms would entail.
So obviously Four-Mar is supplying the grounds that we can walk out and look for mushrooms. But then we also do, in collaboration with our local Mushroom Hunters Club. It's part of that, and then as well as the Michigan Wild Forage Mushroom Certification Program. And so all three groups kind of work together a little bit. And what we do, everybody has an inventory of the trees out here. They have an inventory of the plants, the animals, all sorts of different fauna and flora. But there is nothing out here about the fungi.
Oh.
So that is over the last 3-4 years, we've been working to do a natural features inventory for what fungi you might find out here.
Yeah. Why do you think that's important to kind of start that aspect of it?
They play such an important role in our ecosystems and in our environment. If we didn't have some of the decomposers, we'd be shoveling our way through life because there'd be nothing to be able to break that down. And that's one of the important, like this one in particular, they're decomposers. Right now, everybody has morels on the mind because we are getting into morel season. But there's so many more mushrooms out here than just the edible mushrooms.
You already mentioned some of them. Can you kind of walk us through what these are and kind of like what their purpose is?
Here we have the tiny little bird's nest fungus that was found, and this is actually on some fiber. So it is a saprobe that's trying to break that down. Then we have the Ganoderma applanatum here, which is the artist conch, and they call it an artist conch because if you flip it over when this is in its fresh state, this fertile surface, this pore surface is going to be really, really white, and then you can draw on it with a sharp object. Here we have Haplopolis nigilans, and this is actually Michigan's only toxic or poisonous polypore. But again, it serves its purpose in the environment. These are very, very young, what they call Pleurotus citrinopelatus, and everything is a mouthful when you talk Latin.
Yes, I'm like, how did you manage to say that?
These are known more commonly though as golden oysters, and these are actually a non-native species here in Michigan.
Wow.
They have escaped cultivation. And they're starting to naturalize, and they're currently being studied to see how invasive they are. And I have this walnut here because a lot of people, like myself, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the greatest morel hunter at all. So people will use objects like this to train their eyes to look on the forest floor.
Oh, how unique.
For similar looking things.
All right, well, that's some great information. Shall we go walking so you can kind of share, what people should be looking for when they're out?
Absolutely. And then when we get back, I can explain how we do the bookkeeping part of it if you'd like.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see, maybe we can find some things.
Sounds good.